All myths start with the unknown. Deucalion was the son of Prometheus, the Titan who brought the gift of fire and the spark of intelligence to humanity. Prometheus and his brother Epimetheus are central figures in the mythological representation of human intelligence and foresight. Prometheus, whose name means forethought, is credited with creating humanity from clay and bestowing upon them the critical gift of fire, symbolizing knowledge and enlightenment. His brother Epimetheus, whose name means afterthought, is often seen as the counterbalance to Prometheus, embodying human error and hindsight. Epimetheus married Pandora, the first woman created by the gods, who opened a jug releasing all the evils into the world, leaving only hope inside. Their daughter, Pyrrha, married Deucalion, intertwining their fates in this legendary tale of survival and renewal. Pyrrha's name translates to flame-colored, or red, a possible reference to hair, or her spirit. The story begins with Zeus's decision to send a flood to destroy humanity. In the case of Greek myth, the focus is usually on the general wickedness and impiety of humanity as the cause for Zeus's decision to send the flood. For instance, Apollodorus in his Bibliotheca provides a summary of the myth where Zeus decides to end the Bronze Age due to the impiety and violence of humanity. Some modern scholars interpret that this included barbaric aspects of older religions. Prometheus, always the protector of his creation, warned his son Deucalion about the impending disaster. He instructed him and Pyrrha to build an ark to survive the flood. As the waters rose, they set sail, enduring the wrath of the storm. After days of relentless rain and flooding, the ark finally came to rest on Mount Parnassus. Despite being the only human survivors, Deucalion and Pyrrha found solace and guidance in the divine presence that remained active. The oracle of Themis, representing eternal wisdom and prophecy, had survived the flood. It can be assumed as divine entity, distinct from the corrupted population. The oracle remained to provide this guidance. Themis instructed them to throw the bones of the mother over their shoulders. Following the oracle's advice, they threw stones behind them. Miraculously, the stones transformed into people. The stones Deucalion threw became men. Those that Pyrrha threw became women, thus repopulating the world. It is important to note the oracle of Themis being utilized in the deluge myth suggests that the story is set in a time before classical oracles. Considering the mythological context, it's plausible to assume that these oracles might have been considered either non-existent or not yet prominent during the time of the deluge myth involving Deucalion and Pyrrha. Interestingly, not all versions of Deucalion's story mention the flood. Dionysius of Halicarnassus claimed that Deucalion's parents were Prometheus and Clymene, the daughter of Oceanus. In this account, there is no mention of a deluge. Instead, he describes Deucalion as the leader of the people from Parnassus, who expelled the sixth generation of Pelasgians from Thessaly. This alternative narrative offers a more complex and nuanced understanding of Deucalion's role and actions. This version of the story highlights another critical aspect of ancient Greek mythology: colonization. Deucalion is portrayed as a leader who drives out an ancient group of people to establish new settlements. This narrative reflects the historical and cultural processes of colonization, displacement, and integration that were prevalent in ancient Greece. The movement and establishment of populations were often explained through mythological stories, which served to legitimize and mythologize historical events. The Pelasgians were an ancient pre-Hellenic people in Greece, often considered the ancestors of the Greeks. Their origins are shrouded in myth. Pelasgus himself is a mythological figure, sometimes depicted as the first king. Various accounts place him in different regions, such as Arcadia and Argos, each with its unique stories and significance. One significant parallel between the story of the Pelasgians and the Deluge myth is the theme of survival and repopulation. According to the myths, the Pelasgians were said to have been created from the earth itself, emerging as one of the earliest human groups. They were known for their resilience and adaptability, thriving in various regions of Greece. Like Deucalion and Pyrrha, who repopulated the earth after the flood, the Pelasgians represent the persistence of human life and culture through adversity. In some accounts, the Pelasgians were driven from their lands multiple times by invading forces, only to reestablish themselves elsewhere. This mirrors the trials faced by Deucalion and Pyrrha, who, after surviving the flood, faced the monumental task of rebuilding human civilization from scratch. The Pelasgians' ability to survive and thrive despite these challenges underscores the themes of endurance and renewal that are also central to the Deluge myth. The Pelasgians are often seen as representation of the old ways, embodying the traditions and cultures that predated the classical Greek civilization. They were associated with the pre-Olympian deities, possibly including the Titans, and the ancient practices that were gradually replaced by the newer pantheon and cultural norms introduced by the Hellenic Greeks. These stories and legends are a window into the earlier, more archaic religious and social structures of ancient Greece. The Titans such as Gaia, Oceanus, Themis, who were closely associated with the natural law and elemental forces, would align with the Pelasgians' connection to the earth and nature worship. This reverence for the old ways is seen in their persistence and adaptability, surviving through multiple displacements and maintaining their cultural identity. This inclusion of the oracle of Themis remaining in the Deluge myth seems significant when looking at a broader context. In Greek mythology, Aquarius is sometimes associated with Deucalion, as he and Pyrrha's son. Another connection with Aquarius is Ganymedes, who was immortalized as the constellation Aquarius, the water-bearer. The celestial role symbolizes his eternal service to the gods, carrying water, a life-giving element that cleanses and sustains. This placement of Ganymedes as Aquarius ties directly into the themes of the Deluge. Just as the floodwaters cleanse the earth, Ganymedes as the water-bearer represents the continuous flow of purification and renewal from the heavens to the earth. This is not just a Greek device. Aquarius is also associated with the destructive floods in other cultures. For example, the Babylonians linked Aquarius to the regular, devastating floods they experienced, giving the constellation a negative connotation. In ancient Egyptian astronomy, Aquarius was associated with the annual inundation of the Nile River. It was believed that the banks would flood when Aquarius dipped the jar into the river, signaling the start of spring. Greek mythology will never be alone in its flood narrative. Similar stories appear throughout Mesopotamian myths like the Epic of Gilgamesh and the Bible with Noah's Ark. Each culture's version reflects its unique values and beliefs. The Greek version, with its emphasis on human resilience and divine guidance, offers rich insights into ancient Greek culture and its views on humanity's relationship with both gods and man.